lineup of readers who come directly out of this powerful book with original art and everything else. I do just want to let people know that the series from Katrina to Corona, Poor People Solutions versus Government Solutions, will resume next Sunday with our regular programming at this same time, this same BAT channel, focusing on white science versus indigenous practices and healing practices with a powerful lineup. But tonight, this is about releasing this powerful book. And again, we appreciate you and we love you. And we're dedicating tonight to...
Yeah, we're dedicating tonight to Rob Denoy's Temple. Rob Denoy's Temple was the co-founder of Queer Pot Nation, which I started about, 14 years ago. Also a DJ of the Street Hill Gang, a longtime musician from Brooklyn, New York, and his partner, Judy Smith. They both passed away a couple weeks ago. So we're going to dedicate this book release to Rob, Judy, and also Stacy Melbourne, aka Park. And Stacy was a kick-ass disability justice activist in Oakland, also started in North Carolina. Stacy started the Disability Justice Social Club. It's in Oakland, and they really kick butt. So this is the book release event today is dedicated to Stacy Park, aka Melbourne, and Rob Denoy's Temple, and his wife Judy Smith.
And yeah. So without further ado, we're going to go right into this program. Again, we ask people to be patient with our ghetto selves trying to navigate these digital streets. It is definitely not easy. We have some folk on here tonight who've never even done this Zoom-ish. So again, give it up to Brother Weston, who's actually helping us navigate.
Go Weston!
Yes, and without whom we would not get this done. To Asa, powerful Asa Ikeda, who pulled this piece together, to Celia, for the original cover art. We love you, and all of the artists, as well as Otis Smith and so many more. And we'll talk a little bit more through the night as we go through this. But before we do any more, we want to start tonight in a good way. So in the way of the book, we're asking our sister, our powerful warrior with Segorte Land Trust and with Homefulness, who we asked permission before we even began this landless poor people's solution to homelessness, whether or not we could even be here as folks from all four corners of Mama Earth. The powerful and amazing Sister Shiro, Karina Gold, to start us in a good way with prayer, with acknowledging the land, and with anything else that she wants to say.
Thank you so much, Tiny. Thank you, Leroy, and everybody at Poor Magazine, sending so much love to everyone across the country who's here with us today. You know, I'm just really humbled to always stand on our lands here in Huichin. And I want to acknowledge and bring in the ancestors of all of us that we're standing on the backs of and shoulders of today, wherever we might be. And I think that I'm just going to do my excerpt that I put in the for COVID-19 book that you did, Tiny, and Poor Magazine. You know, I think that it says what I need to say today. And so I'm just going to read it out loud to folks. And this is a part of this book. And it's my prayer for right now, where we're at, where we're all dealing right now with COVID-19, but so much more came with this disease. And I think that right now we're just trying to center ourselves. And so while we're going through this program today, let's just center ourselves. Let's bring our ancestors in. Let's remember the resiliency that we come from warriors, and that we are meant to be here at this time, and that we have something to bring to the table for the next 7 generations. So we pray for the next 7 generations and beyond. We pray for all of our relatives that are imprisoned behind walls in their minds or addictions. We pray for those that are yet to be born, that we create a better world for them. We offer prayers for those that are leaving the world and their families. We pray that we human beings come back into the sacred circle of creation and do our part to stop the destruction of our Mother Earth. We ask for special prayers for our relatives that are living without a roof, that are in places of violence, are living under fascisms and all other isms. We ask for protections of our loved ones, both near and far. We pray that the decisions we make today will help those yet to come. I just want to thank Poor Magazine and all the warriors that are out there on the front lines all over the world right now that are taking care of our brothers and sisters that have less than we do, that have no roofs, that are sick, that have fallen in some kind of way, that we continue to do the work of our ancestors, that we put out our hands and our hearts and do those work for the next 7 generations. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today.
Oh,
Thank you, Karina.
Thank you. And so on that same sense, can we bring in a beautiful and amazing Moana Nui prayer warrior who also blessed this beautiful historical book with prayer from the ocean people, from Pacific Islanders all over Mama Earth. Fuifuilupe Niumeitolu.
Wow. Wow, brothers and sisters.
Hi.
Hi, hey, hi, Tiny. Am I mute?
No, we hear you.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Julie.
Hey, hey, you guys. Hey, malo taulawa, kainga. Well, Tiny, I thought you were going to edit it. You know, Tongans, brothers and sisters, you know, us Pacific Islanders, people from Wananui, we don't, you know, everything is big for us. So this includes our prayers. But, hey, I just want to say, I'm really humbled to be here. We would say whakatolo watu ki kainga me he whanuani, ki kainga oloni, malo ho tauhia ho tawa e korina. Thank you so much to the land, to the people of this land, the stewards of this land, the Ohlone, to this land, this Mother Earth that we're all on here in the Bay Area that is called Huchin, with great humility. I'm just, perhaps Tiny, I'll just go really fast not to mention that. You know, brothers and sisters, our Pacific Islander people, we have one of the highest mortality and deaths from COVID right now here in the United States.
The Black community too.
And as well as other people, other indigenous people and people of color, like our brothers and sisters, African Americans, also other Native Americans. So brothers and sisters, for me, this is also a moment of grieving. And I say grieving because in our histories as Pacific people, we were always denied our grief. We were always denied our grief because we were told that colonization saved us, that Christianity saved us, that the ways of the white man was going to save us, and it didn't. And like our Zapatista relatives said to the US government, the settlers' ways is a death sentence for the indigenous, and it is for us. So brothers and sisters, perhaps the prayers, with great humility, the prayers on this land that sustains us, to the stewards of this land that has always taken care of this land. We honor our sacred relationships with other people of color, with other marginalized people, with our unhoused relatives. And also we honor our relationships, our sacred relationships with the great leaders of Poor Magazine. Thank you for healing our world. Thank you for tauhiwa with us. Thank you for honoring our sacred relationships. Much love. Ofa hayatu.
Mateo, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fui.
So we can go on to.
We were gonna do a quick intro, Leroy, remember?
Yeah.
Do you wanna just read like a few lines of yours and a few lines of mine? Let's go.
Yeah, okay. So this is time for radical change. And I'm not talking about lukewarm Bernie Sanders revolution, who pimped public enemy and now once again has shown us that these changes will not be coming from political systems. We have seen that the federal government wants us dead. Time and time again, we must be reminded that government and nonprofits can't move without us. The people push these people. Constantly, when emergencies happen, two things happen over and over again. One, government will fail us, and two, communities, support networks, and solutions take over. From the Black Panther sickle cell anemia screening program and community food programs to today's Poor Magazine Homefulness Project and more. Tiny?
Capitalism relies on new products, new ideas, new issues, struggles, needs that can be turned and transformed into products, services, offers, always has, always will. Nonprofit industrial complex and philanthro-pimp industrial complex and savior industrial complex. So many complex, I got a complex. Both built and bred in capitalism. It's notwithstanding its so-called revolutionary intentions is also in the game of designing, transforming, and crafting our poverty, our struggle, our needs, and even our misery into something that can be bought and sold, pimped and played, from Occupy to Black Lives Matter to poverty to homelessness, and now to COVID-19. A rush to innovate, create, serve, fund, and ultimately rip off has always been at play. Yeah, we did the Deecolonize Guide to a Humble Revolution with Occupy. We made history then because it was to remind and educate people that they had conveniently excluded from their selective memories, to help them with something never taught or encouraged in capitalism: humility and herstory. Look to the side, look to the back, look to the below, because we're already there and we always have been.
So we're going to go on to our first reader. I hope they are here. Jay from Disability Justice Culture Club. Is Jay in the house?
Or anybody speaking for Stacy from Disability Justice Culture Club.
No.
Do you want me to send Jay a text message to check in?
Yes, thank you, Cecilia. That'd be great. And we'll keep going and get them in if they're not here.
Okay, so let's keep on going. We got Bella Martrice. Bella.
I don't know if she's there either. Is she?
Bella?
Did she make it?
It doesn't look like it. All right, keep on going on. Keep on going on.
Did you let everybody in too, Leroy? Just
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So, Auntie Frances Moore.
Without further ado, the amazing, the powerful, the just learned, the Zooms walk, and we love, and who is There Would Be No Homefulness Without, and the powerful leader of the Self-Help Hunger Program and co-founder of Homefulness, Auntie Frances Moore.
And she has a last name.
That's right. And may or may not be able to unmute herself. Are you there, Frances?
If you're on the phone, it's *6 to unmute.
Okay.
Can I see your phone?
So I just unmuted.
Yeah, you won. Frances, you won.
There.
Can't get her on.
Frances, you won.
Yes!
Yeah.
Okay, go for it, babe. You won.
Hold on. 1 second, please.
So he has
And this is live and direct from Self-Help Hunger Program right now with a hoopty that will not turn the key in the ignition. Yes, go for it.
Can't see that. Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Yeah.
Okay. So once again, because I'm in the middle of the park and I wasn't paying attention in and out, what are we doing now?
You're reading your piece, Francis.
Francis, look at the phone because we can see you.
Okay. Where is your MF gloves and mask? Okay. These are notes and thoughts from, oh God, from a COVID-19 survivor by Auntie Frances Moore. I'm going to start with just the typical language that we are speaking now and today. And these are just a few of the new slogans and statements. This in the new COVID-19 language. That is a household word.
I got that.
Have toilet paper, stockpiles, PPE, pandemic, 6 feet, social distancing, stimulus, crumbs, economic closures, rent strike, no pay, no rent, shelter in place, no mask, no service, takeouts only, unemployment, sky rises, romance during the pandemic. Did you wash your hands? Where is your MF gloves and mask? Please remove your shoes upon entering my house. Bleach and water. Got paper towels and hand sanitizer? Watch out. Watch out for them young ones. They're carriers. Did you cough? Excuse me, please give me my 6 feet. Watch out for them young ones. Watch out for that black man with the mask on. Take off your mask, nigga. In a no mask, in a mask only zone. Was my restless youth. House incarceration so close, yet so far. I can't wait until I can hug you, embrace you, heart to heart, heart to heart. Thoughts of coffins, prisons, concentration camps. First, search for the truth that will set us so free. Freedom, the wealth of health. Hello?
Good stuff.
Beautiful.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I got 2 phones on here.
Wait, let me take a digital
Okay.
street break. Let me
I'm
take a
done.
digital. Okay. Wait,
Right back
Francis.
after these messages.
Francis,
What?
can you hear me, Francis?
Amir.
Pardon?
Yeah, no, you're great. We're gonna mute you, okay? Just so we can hear. But you are beautiful, Francis. We love you.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I'm in the middle of the park trying to get 6 feet from everybody, right?
Okay.
Somebody cussing over there, somebody throwing bottles over there, somebody, I'm serious.
I know exactly what you mean.
Right in the middle of the struggle.
All right. We love you, Francis. All power
That
to the
part.
people. All power to the people.
All right. Thank you, Sharonda.
Okay, so we're gonna go
All
on.
power to the people, because there is power in the people. We're going to show
right.
them. We're going to
That's
give us footsteps to follow, right?
That's right.
That part. All right,
Okay,
I'm
so-
out of here.
Okay.
Okay, respectfully so.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All
Okay,
right,
so,
love you, bye.
Bye.
okay, so let's go on each
No, wait,
artist.
wait, Leroy. Hold up. Leroy.
The two, right?
Leroy, can you mute everybody else because we're getting some sound from right while people are talking?
No thanks to mumbles, fucking ass, loud ass mouth.
Unmute yourself, Tiny.
Okay. So the other thing is, really quickly, there said there's more people in the waiting room. So if you could check and see.
Yeah, I'm checking. There's nobody. There's only 2 people that I let in multiple times, so I'm not gonna let them in again.
Okay.
I let them 3 times. So.
All right. So everybody, is Juju on here? Juju on here? Juju Angeles? I don't think she's here yet.
Juju Angeles.
I don't think so. Okay, we're gonna go on to the amazing, the powerful, the poet, and the land liberator himself right here at Homefulness. My brother, one of the original residents of Homefulness, Mr. Dee Allen, with his piece. Are you gonna read from in here?
Come on, Dee.
I would say the shut door. All right. Yeah, okay. Now,
I have a 2-minute time limit to work with, so I'm gonna make it good and quick.
Hold on 1 sec.
You just heard a few of the best, and now you're about to hear from me.
All right.
From page 24 of the book, this is a new poem called The Shut Door. The shut locked door stands between me and the disaster outside I cannot see. Having no effect on animals in the least, it chooses to pounce on human beast. Streets nearly empty, cars and buses free to roam. Shelter from disaster is easy to find inside my own home. Libraries remain closed, restaurants will not serve. Rectangular wood on hinges will help me bend the curve. Flattened for a longer, robust life, beyond respirator mask and hands covered in latex. No telling how long this infection lasts. While the most foolhardy fall to the flow, safety is mine, sequestered behind the shut locked door. That was called The Shut Locked Door from page 24 of the new book, The Poor People's Survivor's Guide Through COVID-19 and the Virus of Poverty. From this computer mic to your ears, I'm Dee Allen.
Woo! Find yours. Okay. Yeah, we moving right along. I just want to go back because a couple people said they're having trouble getting in, like Pearl Bongin, and Paige and some others. Have you been able to let them in?
Many times.
That's so weird. Okay, welcome to the Digital Street Walk Hustle. All right, it's with power and privilege and love and respect and honor that I want to check and see if the powerful Ayodele Nzinga wordslanger is here, because she is supposed to be on right now. Do you see her there yet, babe?
No, I don't see her on. No.
Okay, well, we'll come back to her. And in the meantime, absolute beautiful consolation that isn't a consolation, it's a constellation of Indígena conciencia, the amazing, the one and only, Muteado Silencio, presente, mi alegro.
Hey, everybody. Just thank you for joining us right here from Homefulness and supporting this beautiful book. Thank you to all the artists, other people who did my editing, which was a lot. But here it goes. After the chaos settles, entering the 4th week of shelter in place, the Tezcatlipoca Phase, smoke and mirror phase happens, which is what I want to write about. This happened after you have watched a full week of Netflix, swallowed by a full week of Facebook, and half a day of Instagram. The Tezcatlipoca Phase is when you have ran out of apps or work or family to distract yourself from doing the inside work of who we are, and to deal and find ways to heal and carry the trauma, as hard as it is. In this phase, we encounter our fears, the uncertainty of not being in control of our own futures, questioning ourselves, our careers, our past choices, our partner choices, where we are here in the present, and also showing and finding the true colors of who we are. The Tezcatlipoca Phase, the smoking mirror, and seeing who we really are. As we stand in for us, taking off the mask, the internal mask, that we put on when we walk out of the homes, the bedrooms, the casas, the houses, to the outside world. The Tezcatlipoca Phase, the smoking mirror phase, is painful, it's sad, it's angry, sobbing, healing, blissful. The Tezcatlipoca Phase.
Woo!
Thank you.
Damn.
I felt like an amateur compared to the performance that I just heard.
I just want to say,
Let's give it up one more time for Senor Muteado Silencio.
wee! I do want to say that what you're looking at on the image there, and again, thanks to Weston for doing this work and helping our digitally divided selves, but that is the images of just some of the beautiful chimales, which are medicine that Muteado has created and also helped the youth scholars at Deecolonize Academy, all homeless and formerly homeless, disabled, indigenous youth create for themselves. Just quickly want to say what a chimale is.
Yeah, it's what we use in ceremony, specifically in Danza Azteca. And yeah, just it's also healing, you know, putting that work in our regalia that we use. And just a blessing too, we share with the folks, with the young folks who actually learn about their own cultures, you know, not to appropriate other people's cultures, but learn about their true selves and where we come from.
Wow. That's what's up. So I just want to again acknowledge the fact that we're having pretty intense problems that people who are supposed to be on are not able to get on. And this is really disturbing to me. And it probably has to do with like how much money you pay Zoom. So let's be real about that shit. But that's what's happening to folks. They're there in the waiting room and they're unable to get in. And that's, I think that's Sister Cat, that's Ayodele, that's Pearl.
Oh man.
It's a lot of people. So it's a situation, family. I'm not quite sure what to do about it. We could restart, but I don't know if that'll help.
Step out to make room for.
I don't know if that's, I saw somebody say I could step out, but I don't necessarily think. I don't think that's it. So don't do that yet, folks.
No, I think I just put in early on.
Ayodele on?
Yeah.
It's, by the way, a little message out there. It seems to be easier if you're doing it from your phone. I don't know why. Also, yeah, it has nothing to do with the mount. Leslie Dreyer's telling us in chat. And somebody just got in by doing it on their phone. And then also Paige, who's one of our powerful volunteers, said, you know, but when she left and then came back in, she was able to get in. So I don't know what the F is going on. But
yeah,
just,
World Smith is on the poet.
Okay, so let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and Ayodele, you're on there. Wordslanger.
Wordslanger.
Did you say she's there?
Yeah,
I am here. Can you hear me?
Beautiful. All right, then let me give a proper introduction because we are all truly blessed with the medicine that is the poet, the writer, the theater producer, and the badass revolutionary Ayodele Wordslanger, who I learn from every time she drops a poem.
Yes.
Please.
Here we go. I am not adaptable. I can't cut myself into pieces small enough to fit into the boxes you've crafted to confine me. I refuse to be invisible. You should fear me. The sins of the fathers ride with you unresolved. You eat the fruit of stolen trees while denying me a resting place in the sorrow land you stole me away to. I will not make peace with your transgression, will not forget how I got here, will not forgive any more than the bones on the ocean floor will pardon you the remembrance of horrific Holocaust. You never asked for forgiveness. How can I adapt to that? I will not adapt to confinement, being lynched, starved, work without pay, undereducated, educated to serve you. I will not adapt to murder at will not stop breathing because you want all the air. I will not be your stereotype, will not wear your dream of me falling down, will not share your lie of me with my reality of myself. Will not seek to comfort you in your psychosis. You are ill. I refuse to ignore it. You can't make me wear the mask when I refuse. The suit don't fit. I will not shrink. My dreams are bigger than project bedrooms that peer out on courtyards without grass or trees. They don't care about your bottom lines, your endless need to build fences. My soul wants more than neon and street corners. It wants roots, reason, rhyme, and dignity, justice. My history belongs to me. I hold it close to remind me of being born free. My culture is all I brought from where I belong to this land constructed by the laws of the lawless. It's fluid on purpose to keep you off center. It's a lie. You don't make the rules for the medicine, not for resale. After being remixed, robbed of its magic and infected by you. I have a beginning, a story I wrote in blood and tears. I remember it and those who died living it. I know where you fit. You can't rob me of legacy. You don't possess the power to unmake me. I will not give it to you. You are not my author. I will never come to glorify my captures. Think in your logic, become you. I am what you stole in its rawest form. Following a different drum, still connected, hell still here in your midst. Big black's time bomb ticking, unsmelted, not melting, beyond your dreams of assimilating me. I refuse to be eaten. I will not be digested. I'm the substance of nightmare and retribution invoked by you. The genie about to battle, sharpening swords, waiting for night to fall. I am not adaptable. See, I got triggers. I'm from the school of small axes in the days where the most violent write the letter of the law. The law is often a fateless mistress, combining to chalk line my boundaries, forgetting who pushed who first, or legitimizing it, complicit in the minefield of my life, enabling the infamous wearing black robes, white robes, sometimes in scarlet robes over Brooks Brothers suits, all the same in their effect to stones the builder rejects, tethered in halls of injustice after being dismissed, while pouring, growing, planning the foundation of the crooked house outside which I sit, fully loaded, rife with triggers, explosive in the conjured myth, informed by action, word, deed, and the reality of living in the land of the lawless, triggered by reckless lips, using English like a club, toxic ink on cotton, with Jim Crow's shadow reinventing itself in the dust of my steps. I got triggers if I ain't got nothing else. Side-eyed shade interpreted with acuity, fluent in nonverbals, subliminals, and lapses in consciousness. And yes, you meant that. Don't take it back because you realize the safety's off. Their reality ain't got filters, and I got triggers. I can smell the call, will answer, give you your nightmare without hesitation. I have arisen, not forgotten. We can get low. I know the steps, wrote some of the songs. You sure you want to sing along? Because I got triggers. We'll pull, believe that. Send you to meet your maker before I let you send you to meet mine. See, I'm a retired slave. I've been done, been unruly. Was never suited for oppression, so I stood up. Don't try to ride my back. I got triggers. You try to put me on my knees, you'll find out I squeeze, blow you back to where you came from, have you scratching your life with your good hand, trying to figure out what comes next. I got triggers. I decipher intention in word, deed, and text. I'm on the lookout for nappy nets. I'm easily vexed. Don't test. I got triggers. Lions and gorillas here, riding in the storm, fully loaded. You come for me, I answer the door. If you didn't want war, what you pull up for? Reciprocity is a religion. You catch me wrong, I'm gonna serve what I'm giving.
Whoa.
Yeah. All right.
Her and Queen Nandi should meet.
As usual, dropping the realness. Thank you. That's a blessing of medicine. Thank you. Thank you, Ayodele.
Fire.
Check it out. Her powerful work is in the new book.
And the poem that you just heard is not in there. I checked.
Is adaptable is in there, isn't it? Which one did you guys take?
I'm not sure. It's one of them. It's definitely
There's
one of
no.
them.
Okay, so can we go on?
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Okay.
Our next.
So Armstrong, we gotta go back to Armstrong.
Ira. Oh yeah, let's powerfully move. And I do want to say thank you for that knowledge always, that sharing. Ayodele just it lifted me up, and especially as we struggle with these digital streets that are more colonial crap. Hello, and people are still trying to get in, right? I just want to say, manage participants. That's one thing someone just sent in, Leroy, just in case that helps. But moving on, let's go to the powerful mama, leader, warrior in the community for the youth and for so many more. Ira Armstrong, lay it down.
We're gonna try to keep it to 2 minutes, okay?
How you doing, Tiny? It's really good to be here with you all. I'm honored by being together, and I always feel like
we're having trouble hearing you, sis.
That I was taught by my elders was using humor. And can you hear me now?
You're breaking in and out.
You come in like an echo, so I'm hearing a little. We're hearing a little.
I might have to go later. You can hear me now? Is that better now?
Yeah.
Okay. My people taught me how to use humor and sarcasm to get through, and this piece is like that. It's about that. It's a guide on how to quarantine. So you could take
I think we lost you again, babe.
The digital stuff burns.
Yeah, you going like
You'll all want to wrap up. You'll want to wrap up all the bills, run those last few errands. Don't touch anyone just in case. Don't touch anything just in case. 2, when you get sick, you're gonna want to have fun. Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Now, not at all. Is there anywhere else you can call from that we get you a little better, babe?
They said they're going to come right back in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we should move on now.
Okay, let's keep it moving. Is Klee Benally in here? And I don't know if Klee was going to be able to make it because he was going to try, but do you see Klee?
No, I don't see Klee.
Okay, so let's keep moving.
So myself, I guess.
Yep, go ahead, Leroy.
Okay, so this is called What's Wrong. You can't breathe, dizzy, can't stand on your feet. Don't even ask for my mask. Now you want accommodation? What's wrong? You forced me to be a super crip. Now you're crumbling. Don't give me no lip. Asking me for all of my recommendations. What's wrong? Made me feel so low. Now you can't get out of bed. Leah wrote a whole book on pillows. Disability justice. Now you want to know? What's wrong? How does it feel? Knowing no one is coming. Yeah, this is real. It took death knocking on your door to see us. The ramp to our world is coronavirus. You didn't listen, so it had to come down to this. The sad thing is, this is nothing new. That's why we have the blues. On the roof during Katrina, in nursing homes when the ground was cracking in Puerto Rico. Now it's an emergency. All of a sudden, you want to listen to me? Over and over again, here we go. When it's over in rebuilding, you will return to your old ableist ways. You showed your hand before. That's what I say. We both know what's wrong. All right, so the next artist is...
Wait, Leroy.
Yes.
Two things. Pearl signed in again. Try to look in the waiting room, see if you can get her in. Secondly, that art on the screen is Otis Smith. Please check it out. It's original art that was made for this book, and he did 2 pieces, and it's absolutely beautiful. So we are so blessed. Want to lift up these artists like Celia and Otis, Muteado, and so many more visual artists as well. But
Jay is now in the room.
Cool. So let's bring Jay in to speak a little bit on Stacy. Thank you, Jay. We love you.
Thank you, Jay.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Jay.
Thank you for having me.
Michelle.
I don't know if anybody got an opportunity to, I'm sorry, let me silence this. To see the streaming of Stacy's memorial yesterday. It was really nice, and I know that we are planning on doing more celebrations of Stacy's life. She is a very important person in the community, and she taught us a lot about giving your resources to the people that most needed it. She always was a person that I have a hard time talking about her in past tense.
Don't, babe. She's with us. You know that.
Keep going.
Yeah, it's been a wild week, and I still can't really it's still not it's still hard to see it as something that is actually happening, and definitely we want to continue to encourage people to use the hashtag Stacy taught us. If you want to include any words or anything about Stacy or any memories that you have with Stacy. We're trying to make a documentary or something with Crib Camp, and I know a lot of people, because of COVID-19, a lot of people weren't able to show up in the way that they would have if this wasn't the circumstance. The day that she passed away, I was actually washing dishes and thinking about how I was feeling like a really bad friend, because I kept telling her I was gonna stalk her in the hospital and like be out there with a bunch of people singing happy birthday, and she kept saying, no, that's not what I want, or no, there's no text or and things like that, and me and Stacy got to texting a lot before she passed. And so I was feeling like I'm not doing what I really want to be doing, and feeling like a bad friend. Right before I found out that she was no longer with us. But I know she knows that I was there in spirit, and that I think my mission right now is to continue her work as much as I possibly can.
Oh, Mateo.
Yes.
And continue that legacy that she left all of us.
That's right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I do want to say to Jay and to all the beautiful, amazing warriors from Disability Justice Culture Club that, you know, to whatever it's worth, you know, as an ancestor, of course, you already know she's still with us, always will be. And she'll be on our altar of ancestors that guide us at Poor Magazine and Homefulness, because for the little bit of time that I actually personally knew her, and the lifetime that many of our poor family knew her, she literally embodied everything that we teach and walk and live. So please know how much love we have for her and for all y'all, okay? Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we can
Yeah, I think it's Audrey Candy Corn next, or unless Ira is back. Is she back on a better, or a Klee? Is Ira back on a better connection? No.
Yeah,
okay,
question.
so let's.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you want to try again, hon?
I would love to.
Yes, there
She
you go.
already sound better. Let's
Okay.
go. Start from the beginning.
This is a piece. It's satire, poor satire.
Love it.
How to quarantine. When your partner gets sick, you'll want to wrap up all the business you have in the world. Run those last few errands. Don't touch anyone just in case. Don't touch anything just in case. When you get sick, you're going to want to have health insurance. You're going to want to call your doctor and see if you qualify for testing. They won't test you, but you'll try. They will tell you if they think you have it, and they will tell you to quarantine at home. You won't know what that means, and they won't give you very good instructions if they give you any at all. If you're going to quarantine, you're going to want to make sure you have either generational wealth, a job that pays you even when you don't go to work, or have savings for at least 6 months of expenses without even touching your long-term savings. You're going to want to own your own home or have a landlord who won't mind when you don't pay rent for 2 to 6 months. You're going to want to have a fully stocked kitchen and working gas, electric, and water services. You're going to need to have a fully functional relationship with someone who can love and take care of you without anything in return, because you won't be able to breathe a lot of the time. I'm sorry, I'm here today because Stacy made sure that I had oxygen when I couldn't breathe.
Oh.
And right now, I don't have any jokes. I just want to say, I want to honor my own life and hers. And I love you, Jay, and I love all of you so much. And I'm so grateful for art and love and community.
Much love.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Thank you,
Wow,
Ira.
beautiful.
Thank you, Ira.
Hey. So the next is RG Candy Corn in the house. RG Candy Corn.
Corona time.
You there, babe? On these digital streets?
I saw you earlier.
Candy corn, can you hear us?
She was there. Hold on. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Oh, she's muted.
You're muted, though. She's muted,
All
hon.
right, I tried to find her. It's hard. It's
Sorry,
like
we got you. Hold on a sec, babe.
people in here.
Looking good.
Okay, I'm trying to find her.
Can you wait? Can you wait so Leroy can find you?
Okay, she says yeah.
Okay, I found her.
Okay.
Sorry. All right, yeah, I'm muted.
Sister Warrior Mama, part of the Taz Foundation, Deecolonize Academy, Poor Magazine, Audrey Candy Corn, Sister Save a Soul. Go.
Hey, family. I'm here. I was muted, as you all know, so I just wanted to make really big hand signs and say I'm cool with it. Because you know how we roll. It's technical difficulties sometimes. We never let that stop us.
That's right.
I just want to say I'm grateful to be a part of this epic, his story and her story, because right now is the times where we really have to all pull together. And with that being said, I believe that we're supposed to be saying a piece out of our books, but I don't have my piece. So I would just have to speak off the cuff, or maybe Tiny, you could read my piece or a piece of it, or I could speak on the trickle down effect. What would you like?
Just why don't you speak off the cuff, because your piece, Corona Time, came from your heart. It was just one of your beautiful blogs, so go for it.
Okay, well, basically what I understand is for us just to share our experience. And my experience in the COVID Corona-19, things haven't really changed much. Everything has still remained the same for me. At the end of the day, me and my children are still together. We're praying as a family. We actually have had more people check on us than the 4 years of Torian's death. And so that was really heartfelt for us, because when you're going through a trying time, something like this, you have to rely on family. And if it wasn't for Corona, me and the children wouldn't be able to sustain life as good as we are. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I'm not on welfare and I don't get food stamps. And if I'm not doing a speaking engagement for someone that believes in the vision that Homefulness and Deecolonize Academy and the Sliding Scale Cafe and all of the other sister hubs, I'm not eating. And so at the end of the day, for me, Corona has not been such a horrible time. For me, it has been a time for manifestation, as oddly as it may sound. Zaire did have asthma really badly, and he told me before Corona hit that the Lord had healed him and that he didn't have to take the medication or be dependent on the electricity in the machine and the medication of the steroids. Well, now it is a time where this disease is attacking people's lungs and their immune systems, and also PG&E is going, folks were concerned about paying their bills. What is my point? Well, my son has been healed before Corona hit. So that's something that's a positive for me. And with that being said, my house is stable. I'm still able to eat. There's food inside of the refrigerator more than there's ever been. And so this is just a time for me to see who my village is. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm pouring in to my family and my village as well. So that is pretty much all that I have to say. A family that prays together is a family that stays together. And so I'll say for us, when some people's faith may be wavering right now, me and my children's faith is right on the money. And so that is wonderful. So we are doing great in this Corona times. And I have some tips on some people that don't know how to survive, because it's been Corona for me.
That's right.
All right.
Virus called poverty. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sister Save the Soul. Thank you for that.
Okay, so we're gonna go on to the next reader, Lisa Gansner. And Lisa, take it away. I'm gonna unmute you. I gotta look for you.
Actually, all right, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, I didn't prepare anything. I'm just here to listen.
Oh, well, we want to show your beautiful work. That's Lisa Gansner's chalk art that is in the book, along with the beautiful poem. So you need to get that book so you can read that poem.
Keep breathing.
Love you, Lisa.
Love you guys. See ya.
All right.
Okay, so we can move on to Jonathan Gomez.
Whoop, whoop. A powerful warrior poet and a beautiful spirit who's also supported us in radical redistribution and also infiltrates academia to liberate. Jonathan, take it away.
Right on, right on. Thank y'all. You know, this is it's always an honor to walk with Poor Magazine, and just thank you for organizing this event. I've already gotten to meet so many beautiful people that have shared their wisdom and their hearts. So thank you. This piece is called A Blessing, and it's para los niños del mundo. And I wrote this by accompanying a Chicano mural artist in East LA named Norma Montoya, who for the last 50 years has been working with youth at the Estrada Courts housing projects. And so here it goes. Bless the child that's got her own, who makes something out of nothing. Master matadora, dodging and defying deadly conditions, rushing at her in neighborhoods on the forgotten side of town. Bless all those born to disregarded races. Youngsters expected to make peace with mediocrity. Workers who live check to check in apartments where black mold grows just underneath the carpet. Their kids who scratch at rashes and fight forever flu-like conditions. All the people landlords choose to let cucarachas roam the cupboards and rats nest in their walls. Bless the plastic trash bags used to carry the belongings of houseless mothers. May they not tear to pieces before it's time to lay down slabs of cardboard and cloth to pad the wretchedness of sleeping on sidewalks.
Oh my God.
Bless the children who develop looks of stone by the age of 10. Crow's feet etched into the sides of their faces, a hard geography of perpetual humiliation. May they hold their heads high, building the might to look the world in its eyes. The interpreter, who translates the meaning of words on state letterhead to father's tongue. Notice of action, food stamps terminated. Give them strength. The performance artist, who professes to be full with having eaten only half of the meal on the plate so mama can have a bite too. Give them strength. The criminalized, who knows to assume the position and yes sir the cops who check pockets at every encounter on the way to school. Give them strength. The captured, wrapped in thermal mylar to avoid freezing in the hilera, awaiting deportation to a village underlining the company report as a site for another round of dispossession. Give them strength. And may every disregarded and hungry youth, wide eyes watching us, remember they are a blessing, far from a curse. Thank you all so much.
Oh,
beautiful.
Yes.
Ashe.
Jonathan, you had me crying, bruh. You had me crying. You had this houseless daughter, mama crying. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Nothing but love to my poor familia. I'll see y'all soon.
Ashe.
Person.
For sure.
So, Tanya, you want to introduce the next one?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if Sister Cheri is there. I do want to say, even if she's not there, she is there. Do you see Sister Cheri Honkala in the room? Are you also checking the participant room, too? Because other people are.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do want to just say that Poor Magazine, Poverty Scholars, all houseless and formerly houseless, migrante and indigenous and elders and youth, struggling every day in this occupied land, trying to build something that has nothing to do with the government and they plan, has nothing to do with this gentrifucking and continual removal, stands alongside the Poor People's Army in occupied Lenape territory. That's Philly. And we are blessed to be part of fellow warriors out there in Philly, in Philadelphia. It's just like here in Uchin and down in LA and so many more. Poverty scholars who refuse to give up, who refuse to stop no matter what, just like our beautiful sister Crystal Rose Sanchez and the folks up in Sacramento and beyond. So I just want to say, for folks who don't know about the Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign, this is Lives Over Luxury. That's the hashtag. Whenever the Democons hold their meeting, we will be marching with them. And people got to check them out. That's the real Poor People's Campaign, fam. That's all I'm going to say, not the Ford Foundation one. Anyway, and then let's go on to Sister Junebug. Is she in the house? Is my sister JB? Did she make it on these digital streets? Because I know it was a struggle.
It doesn't look like it.
JB to Zoom. JB, are you there, girl?
Maybe not. Another powerful sister warrior who is in the book, who people, if you haven't read Junebug's Medicine, she is my sister from the same mother. She was Mama Dee's other daughter. And really, my mama didn't like many people for all kinds of obvious reasons, but she loved her some Junebug. Check out the poem. It's basically, it's called Surviving the Virus. And it is some medicine in and of itself. So that's another reason to get this book. I do want to do a plug for the book. For people who don't know, we are selling the digital copies. Asking people to pay, if you can, for them so that we can afford to print these copies and give them to fellow poverty scholars on the street, houseless and poor folks, because there are amazing resources to eat, to get shelter, to get medicine, get tested in this book. And yes, the beast called Bezos refused to publish it because they think they own Mama Earth and all her viruses. And who knows, maybe that was the one who made it. I don't know. Don't say you heard it from me. But that said, if you are able, you can go to poorpress.net and pay for the e-copy. For authors, we will send you a free one. If you want to pay for it, we appreciate it, but you don't have to. The other thing is that everything at Poor Magazine is a sliding scale. That's how we roll. If you got a little something, you kick it down. If you don't, you get, you receive the blessing, the gift, because we all together in this struggle. Ain't no shame in the poverty lie. And that is just a game. So wherever we at, we support each other. We try to make this as accessible as possible. There will be a copy made in the other colonizers' language as well. That's Spanish. And we're hoping to do it in Mom and some decolonial languages. That's our long-range goal, because like we know, and like Sister Audrey said, this is herstory. We are making it right now. Thank you, everyone. So let's bring out, without further ado, a powerful sister who I haven't made the personal meeting with yet, but is an amazing poet who blessed us with this medicine. Elizabeth Jimenez Montelongo, welcome to this beautiful talk. Please spit your piece.
Hi, thank you. My name is Elizabeth. I haven't met most of you in person. I actually heard about this project by Poor Magazine from Jonathan. And just wanted to say hello to Maestra Patricia and Gustavo who are listening in. Everyone else, it's great to meet you. I'm going to share the poem that I contributed. It's called Politics, Media, and My Two Brown Hands. After I wrote this, I was inspired to write other poems because I was thinking about like poverty and how it affects us, and I wrote 2 other poems too that hopefully in some future opportunity I can share with you. All right, Politics, Media, and My Two Brown Hands. Politics and media are used to spitting up lies, and we are used to believing them, with a wink and a smirk, eyes rolled, eyebrows raised, a frown, with eyes narrowed, yet playing along, pretending a better president will fix centuries worth of enslavement economics, and we try and we pray and we hope. But since people try to start so many panics that don't quite catch, we didn't see this coming. We shrugged and kept meeting and hugging and kissing until we were finally sent on unpaid vacations to home sweet home with the people who love us and hate us best, our friends, our favorite enemies, or in solitary bliss. Some say confinement, as solitary as a possible death, as confining as a possible fine. Confinement. It meant hoarding food. It means whoever panicked last gets to wipe with a rag. And still, we knew we'd be okay. Until they said for weeks and weeks, until the bills came due, until moratoriums and protections didn't mean as much as we hoped. And then we panicked too, or played along, or both, not remembering if we believe it or not, after all those lies from politics and media. This is when I realized I don't really need a job. Before good literature, nobody really needed to read. And I don't really need that money, or a pre-built home, or that pre-planted, pre-picked food. I could do it all myself with my 2 brown hands. If I could use a patch of land, if I could build the way my ancestors did and not get fined. But the only thing I find is I never really needed gas except to work, never needed work except to pay for things I'm not allowed to do myself, or without paying someone for this right. So I have to work and work and work to buy my freedom, buy a paper giving me the right to a patch of land, so I need that job. But I never really needed pretty things to look good for people who won't love me anyway. Never needed stuff, to do stuff, to get money, to pay for stuff. I can just make myself with my 2 brown hands. Thank you for listening.
Beautiful, man.
Oh, thank you. Elizabeth, we don't know you yet, but we hope we can meet you soon. So much love, family.
Beautiful artwork.
Thank you.
Santa Barbara's in the house.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Jonathan, too, for the beautiful sister
Yes.
invitation. That's beautiful. Wow. Okay, so I guess, wow. So the only person that could possibly top that, no, because we ain't competing. We all love it. I'm just playing. Is another powerful sister warrior poet, a beautiful mama, and a warrior of these gentrification wars, Miss Aquila Lewis Ross.
Girl.
Are you there, girl?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey.
It's great to see everybody. Thank you so much for this invitation. And I hope everyone is feeling well in mind, body, and spirit. I don't know if you can hear my daughter. She's in the background having fun. She'll be 3 in September. It's been a beautiful. I know, time is flying. I'm like in shock, for real.
Right? Next week she'll be 17. I'm just saying. Okay.
Oh my God. So I'm also a journalist and an author, and I've been writing a lot, about everyone else's stories, but I've realized that my story is important too. So I've been interjecting the things that I've been going through, like Tiny said, the gentrification, homelessness, unhousedness, and being an artist. Right. And it's definitely been a journey. It's definitely been a journey. When COVID hit, I was going through a whole lot of struggle.
Dun, dun, dun.
So I barely noticed that there was a pandemic that was hitting, because I was going through, it seemed like a pandemic, true myself.
Right.
So I'm going to put a link of one of the organizations I'm an alumni for, Oakland Voices. I'm gonna put a link of, so that you guys can follow what some of us are doing and writing about what's happening in Oakland and in the Bay Area. But the poem that I'm gonna share with you guys, I really thank you for including me in this. It's called "Take Your Medicine This Time So You'll Know What to Do Next Time."
That's right. I love it.
There's no time to panic. This isn't that fake news you heard so much about. The baby still needs to be fed. She's watching how you move and groove within these times we are in. Her smile is proof. You can rest assured that everything will be all right. Because you've been here before, remember? That fire you ran away from as it cleansed the earth, displacing, rebuilding, and replacing plans. You can't see it now, but your blessing will come. But for now, it's the time for testing. A race to prove who is really fit. Not all can make it across the finish line. Somehow, folks have forgotten. There's no negotiating your fate. When your number is called, you will answer. It's a time for resting, if you can. The homeless and unhoused are your teachers. Ask them. The babies are your leaders. Follow them, because they know the answers. And Mama Earth has the medicine to heal. Broken bodies, broken hearts, broken minds, broken friends, broken loves. Some will finally pick up that big book, searching for what it says. Remember when you put it away, on timeout, or for safekeeping? There it was, buried in piles of boxes. You promised you'll come back to it someday. Well, the time is finally here. When the waters flood, sickness rushes in, demanding, needing change. Disasters teach lessons, helping you remember what made you fall in love and what friendships and kindness really looks like. Take your medicine, rest, and get ready, because after this, if there's a next time, you'll know exactly what to do.
Woo!
Yeah.
Man.
Thank you, sister.
Some wisdom.
Yeah. Y'all bless y'all and keep your heads up, keep your minds ready, keep your hearts ready, and we're gonna get through this.
Thank you.
Thank
This
you,
is our
Aquila.
time.
Yeah. So we're gonna go on to the next artist, straight from Detroit, the Motor City, Motown, Warriors on Wheels, and these ladies have started a food drive for people with disabilities in Detroit. So they cover the whole Detroit, serving food for disabled people. I interviewed them a couple weeks ago. So is anybody here for Warriors on Wheels, Lisa? Warriors on Wheels. Going once, going twice.
Okay, I had to unmute. Hey, Leroy.
Hey.
Coming at you all from Detroit. How's everybody?
Good. So, can you talk about Warriors on Wheels and what you do and how it started?
Well, the organization started in 2008. I was injured by a drunk driver in a car accident, spinal cord injury. So from that point on, I lived my life in a wheelchair, level T6 spinal cord injury. So noticing all the inconsistencies and the lack of accessibility and the disregard and this blatant disrespect for people with disabilities, I started the organization. And so what we do is we try to combat the injustices in the disability community here in our community. And so when COVID hit, we wanted people with disabilities to stay in their home to stay safe. So we knew that we had to still get nutrition and get our food, and so that's how the delivery service started. And so what we do is we register people for the program, and all you have to do is have a disability, live in the city of Detroit, Hamtramck, Highland Park, and Dearborn. And then we develop a grocery list from what you want, and then we go shop for you and bring it to your doorstep. And so people are excited about it, and we're happy to be able to do this for the community. And thank you to all the brothers and sisters, the poets, for the poetry and spitting the knowledge. It was wonderful, very inspiring. And I just thank you, Leroy, for allowing us to be part of the Poor Magazine family. And thank you for the concert. We really appreciate you all helping us out in this area, because we can only do as much as we can do, and help from people like you help us go a little bit further. So we appreciate you very much. Thank you. And I'd just like to say that I'm really sorry about Stacy. God bless you all and her family.
Thank you, sis. Can you, just so, sister from Detroit, maybe you could just in the chat put the website so people know how they can donate or how to just to get in touch with you guys. That'd be great. So I think
Absolutely, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to connect by Zoom. I'm on the phone.
Oh, okay. Well, is that your email? Well, it's a little unclear on the JPEG, so we'll put the email in the chat if that's okay with you.
I can find the word.
Okay, okay, we'll do it.
That's fine. Okay, or either you can go to our website. Our website has a donation button right on the top. So
Beautiful.
Our website is excellent too, wildformetrodetroit.org.
Ashe.
Thank you all so much. God bless you all.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Tanya, you want to introduce?
Yeah, so I don't know if beautiful sister Jelaya Helen Morales is there. She came to us from Reverend OG and is a poverty scholar, dealt with houselessness, and I think is still in a struggle with that. Is she on the group of participants?
What's her name again?
Jelaya.
Jelaya.
Hold on, family, as we walk these digital streets. Oh, good. Crystal got back in. Yay. Hold on. It's just so much like pain for us ghetto scholars. I just want you to know.
No, I don't see her.
Okay. Okay. So if Jelaya comes on, please let us know. We're going to come back to you because people should know that this book has so much art, so much poetry, so much medicine, so many stories from folks who weren't even able to be here tonight, including from the Dine Nation, our Navajo brothers and sisters, Klee, and all the houseless folks struggling with the so-called, the colonial virus, as well as with the COVID-19, as well as Jelaya, Reverend OG, so many folks. So we're only just hearing a little bit of the medicine, and that's another reason to really support getting this book out. And again, I plug for if you can buy the book at the 20 or whatever you can kick down, it's appreciated because it's really about sharing the medicine we got in these times, and I think that became more clear than ever. I do want to see if and speaking of that, Momi, I don't think Momi's on the call, but I want to say that people should know, and I know you already know, that for poor folks, for poor tenants, for Black and brown tenants living in hoods right like here on Black Arthur and Occupied Uchin, those landlords, those scam lords, as I call them, they didn't hear about no, eviction moratorium. Yeah, right. They heard about it, and they don't care, and they're terrorizing their tenants. So in this COVID, we've literally had over 20 tenants from different parts of Oakland come to us in crisis. And this jailhouse lawyer and my fellow jailhouse lawyers at Poor Magazine have just been churning out the letters and documents and advocating. But in the case of this one particular building, please stay tuned because it's called 3080 Richmond and it's in Oakland. And it's literally 65 Black and brown working class families owned by a scam lord who thinks he owns Mama Earth, another one. I wonder why. When you buy a piece, like Sister Elizabeth said, it was a beautiful way of putting it. You think you okay, right? But anyway, so he's literally giving all his tenants 3-day notices to pay rent or quit, towing cars, all that. And there's a so-called eviction moratorium in the state of California. So we know the struggle continues, and we're going to be outing this scam lord because they literally own 40%, air quotes, 40% of Mama Earth apartments all across Oakland and Berkeley. And it's actually a crime. So I just want to put that out. That's also in the book. And then, yeah, moving on to a powerful sister, Shiro. You want to introduce the next person? And did Kat make it on?
I don't see Kat so far. Kat, are you on?
Look in the waiting room.
Yeah, no.
So there's a powerful answer in a lot of ways to this terrorization, which is, you know, the Black New Deal, which the whole thing is in this book. And it's some medicine. So Sister Kat's going to come on and speak on it. But in the meantime, another poverty scholar, a formerly houseless mama, and a warrior who will not, cannot, never thinks about stopping, like so many of us scholars. Our beautiful sister from SAC SOUP and Sacramento Homeless Union, Crystal Rose Sanchez. Welcome to this beautiful day.
Thanks for having me, everybody.
The show.
She said I am the president of Sacramento Homeless Union. I am also the president and co-founder of SAC SOUP, which is Sacramento Solidarity of Unhoused People. And I am also on the executive council of the National Union of the Homeless. So prior to COVID, we didn't have access. We all know this. When COVID hit, they took away all of our access. So what we did, we formed an army within the camps. Sacramento Homeless Union was struggling. Basically, it was a group of us advocates and a group of, not a group, a large amount of unhoused folks trying to survive. Again, like I said, when the access was taken away, there was no notification, no communication to the poor communities, to our unhoused camps. It was a mess. So when we formed, somebody had put out a call showing, that I was fighting every day and I was struggling every day. And what came of that was that coalition called SAC SOUP. Multiple entities came together in the wake of COVID, and we formed about 160 people in a group to take care of and fight with our unhoused community. So we had 4 basic areas in which we fight. We fight in sanitation. We brought in the first 30 hand washing stations into the camps, 5 in 6 locations where we had at least 500 folks in the camps. About 3 weeks into this, I got a phone call from Gavin Newsom's office, and he asked me how we obtained hand washing things. I couldn't believe I was hearing that coming from our governor. We then formed medical teams in the camps. We have 28 students who go into the camps. We have street doctors as well from UC Davis and Cal North State. We've been bringing food donations and regular donations. We've turned this into our own society. We are the access point for everything, and we've been fighting for a really long time against police sweeps, which all of us on this call, I'm sure, have been in the same boat. What we've done is we pled with what we've built this protection around these camps. We told them that they cannot move the people, because if they move them, they would not only be risking the unhoused folks, but they would be risking the community, as, like I said, we had built this foundation of medical and food and donations and sanitation. So what we did was we had quite a few groups where the police and the sheriffs continued to sweep and do what they do, completely disregarding CDC guidelines. So we initiated a lawsuit. We started out with a cease and desist. We got denial letters from our city attorneys saying that it wasn't happening. We've caught them on camera. And we, in 1.5 days, collected 125 declarations from unhoused folks who have been swept or been tortured by the police. So I'm going to read this really quick. what happened on the 22nd, which, let me take it back. On the 14th, a group of us pled with our public health department. We caught all the evidence on camera and we showed him what was happening here in Sacramento. We showed him of the violent police sweeps. We showed him of people's things being taken, people with disabilities being shoved into the street with nothing. So we pled with him, requesting that they stop the sweeps, and this is what happened. So I'm gonna read this really quick to you guys. Sacramento County's new stay-at-home order released Friday prohibits law enforcement from conducting sweeps throughout homeless encampments during coronavirus pandemic. The new public health order says that unless people are experiencing homelessness, oh, my phone dumped, sorry guys. Unless people experiencing homelessness are provided housing, they should be allowed to remain in their encampments, cars, trailers, and RVs in which they live, and it's safer. The order reads that officials should not cite, clear, or relocate any property owned by people experiencing homelessness unless it was requested to be moved by the owner, which is huge because they come in and they take all their stuff without the direction of the people. They just take it. Clearing encampments causes people to disperse throughout the community and break connections with service providers, increasing potential infectious disease and spreading the virus. So what we have responded in response, our lawsuit again was for the sweeps to stop, to cease and desist, and also the housing. They've housed 450 people out of the 11,000 that are here in Sacramento. 700 of those are children, which we still have 92% of the people on the streets being hassled. So we are going to pursue our lawsuit. We will be filing on Tuesday morning. So keep an eye out for that. And we will continue to fight this. And the union itself is ran by the unhoused and advocates, the unhoused up front first. And our impacted voices will be heard. We will not stop, and we will continue to fight for our 21 demands, which is basic dignity items. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, Crystal. No, yeah, SAC SOUP, Crystal Rose Sanchez, all the powerful poverty scholars up in Sacramento, powerful work, and we're honored to stand with you. Yeah. So keep it going. We're gonna bring Sister Warrior Kat. For people who don't know, from the Bay, Kat Brooks is a shero, a warrior who's always down for whatever, who's also a rock star, actress, and amazing organizer with Anti-Police Terror Project. And is going to be speaking on something that's actually in the book, because like all Poor Press and Poor Magazine products, it's always about actually the work itself being liberation. And so when we saw the Black New Deal come out, for us, that was itself a solution. And as we, as poor people, as Black and brown and in diaspora, indigenous peoples, solutions means some things we do for ourselves and self-determination. So anyway, without further ado, let's bring in the beautiful Kat Brooks. Is she there?
I am here. Thank you so much for having me. For those of you who can see me, I'm sorry I'm sweaty. I am up in the mountains and I just cooked dinner for 15 people because we're doing this communal living thing, which is quite beautiful. Nice. But in terms of the Black New Deal, you know, we started seeing very quickly that Black people were the most impacted by COVID-19. We, you know, first the clarion call came out of Chicago, and then DC, and any place where there, Detroit, any place where there were large pockets of Black people, they were making up the majority. And so we knew it was just a matter of time before that was the truth in Oakland as well. And sure as shit, when we finally started to see data that was not even racially aggregated, just aggregated by zip codes, it was the zip codes in East Oakland where the majority of our Black people have either been pushed or have been able to stand their ground. And so we gathered about 50 Black leaders, organizers, advocates, and came up with not just immediate demands around COVID, because we're clear that the disparities we're seeing in contraction and death aren't about this virus. They're about the virus of white supremacy, right? They're because we have the least access to healthcare, we have the least access to healthy food, we live in the most polluted environments. So we have the highest levels of diabetes, of asthma, like all the things that contribute to this being a deadly disease are things that have existed in our communities for a really long time. And so the Black New Deal both has short-term and long-term demands around everything from housing to education, of course, to testing, but then, you know, they're talking about contact tracing, but we want to be sure that people aren't criminalized, right, that while you're surveilling us, because those are the words that they're using, is contact tracing and surveillance, which means that if you get diagnosed, then they're going to go back and check out every single person you ever tell them, you're on parole or probation, you're not supposed to hang out with your cousin JoJo, and they find out that that's where you were. So now do you have COVID and you end up in Santa Rita? Like, what does that look like? And so some very serious demands around no data sharing. And then we also asked for resources we put in the hands of the organizations that are actually doing the work. So folks know I rock tough with Terrifying Community Ready Corps. They've handed out thousands of masks and thousands of sanitize, all, you know, their own fundraising or their own budget. And so asking the city to kick them some dollars. And then we had the city council meeting, and this will not come as a surprise as anybody on this phone, but the council members that were supposed to be carrying our version of the bill caved to the establishment's version of the bill, which unfortunately had Black faces on it. And so now there's a version of what they're calling equity out there, but we have a lot more pushing to do to make sure that our demands, the demands that were created by the people, are actually what the city is going to do, and that resources are put into it. And so the other thing that we're looking at is like, what does this look like at a state level? So BLM Los Angeles, APTP Sacramento, and APTP Oakland, and Community Ready Corps, and the Housing Union, and ACE. You know, I mean, y'all know the players out here. We are now figuring out what it looks like to combine these demands into statewide demands for California, and what it looks like to really kick up the media part and pull resources so that we can tell the truth, because the narrative that's coming out now is, oh, Oakland's adopted this equity agenda for Black Oakland in regards to COVID-19, no reference to the New Black Deal, no reference, right, just to one particular council member who's up for re-election. So the work isn't done, but it was a beautiful, beautiful project. I'm really honored that it's part of the Poor People's Survival Guide. We worked really hard on it, and it's not done. It's not done, and so we appreciate the allyship that we saw at City Council, people calling into that mess and saying, you know, demanding a New Black Deal for Oakland. And we look forward to working with you in the state, because what we know is a New Black Deal for a New Black Deal is a new Latinx deal, is a new queer deal, is a new, right? Like it's about all of us. So that's that. And then I guess the last thing that I want to say is, because I am up in the mountains and I wasn't able to join the car caravan, is just Rise and Power Stacy, because she supported the work of APTP and of CRC so fucking tough, and taught me so much about intersectionality. I met her on my campaign and just was blessed to have her as my friend and my teacher, my mentor, truly. And it's a great loss that our movement has suffered.
Stacy Park.
Thank you, Kat. I want to say Kat's being humble too, and ceded her time to powerful New Black Deal, but Black New Deal, but there's a badass poem by Kat in the book. Yes. And if there's any reason to get this book, I'm serious. Get that book. I'm just saying, with yourself. Okay. Thank you, Kat. Love you.
Kat.
Thank you. Love you all.
All right.
So the next speaker is, oh my God, she's a kick-ass advocate for, police brutality and, kick-ass longtime activist in Oakland, went to Brazil, and now she's in our book. Rebecxa, come to the mic.
Whee!
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
And see you.
Huh?
And see you.
And see me. That's perfect.
There you go.
Because I can't see myself. So I'm Rebecxa Ruiz. I'm from the Bay Area. I work with Anti-Police Terror Project, and we contributed a piece called "Criminalization Will Not Slow the Pandemic" to the handbook, because no country has ever successfully policed their way out of a pandemic.
Ah, that part.
Right? I want to begin with a quote from Frank M. Snowden III. He's an incredible historian that studies the pandemics. He has a book called Epidemics in Society, From the Black Death to the Present. He says, quote, "Epidemic diseases are not random events that afflict society capriciously and without warning. On the contrary, every society produces its own specific vulnerabilities. To study them is to understand that society's structure, its standard of living, and its political priorities. So chew on that when we consider that in the weeks and months after Hurricane Katrina, residents dealt with food insecurity, black mold spores clouding the air, squatting gutted homes, unnecessary or unsanitary shelters where parasitic bacterial infections like Giardia spread. But despite these struggles, an overarching fear remained the police, private security agencies run by ex-Blackwater operatives, and the National Guard, meant to surveil and control poor and Black residents in the name of safety. Grassroots activists doing critical aid work, not unlike Poor Magazine's incredible direct service activism, not unlike CRC's work, they were intimidated, trailed, infiltrated by the government, while simply providing food and sanitation supplies to residents in desperate need. 15 years later, we should use the lessons we learned during Katrina and resist anything resembling military control under the guise of relief. We need to hold Newsom to the promise of aid and not these AR-15 wielding military police, even if residents are forced to loot for survival. We've never before seen a shelter-in-place order tied to such clear legal implications if violated. Bay Area residents risk a misdemeanor for breaking it, punishable by fines that if people couldn't afford them before, they really can't afford them now, or incarceration. Like imagine that, putting people in a crowded facility for not social distancing, right? As if it's possible to socially distance in Santa Rita.
London Bridge.
Right? So, and if we know anything about policing in the Bay Area, it's that these laws are selectively enforced and with extreme racial bias. Anything that resembles criminalization won't protect vulnerable people. Often they're the ones targeted and yet the most at risk. The Bay Area has high concentrations of immunocompromised populations, those with autoimmune diseases like HIV, respiratory illnesses because of environmental racism in Richmond and Hunters Point and West Oakland, among other serious health conditions. This fact added to like a skyrocketing homeless population. Like people without stable housing are sometimes 3 to 6 times more likely to suffer from a serious health condition than the general population, right? So this is what we're up against. But, you know, if we work together like many have been and take the lessons we learned during the horrific actions of the US government during Katrina, if we work together as like people of color, and immigrants and queer people and disabled people and poor people, homeless people and other heavily policed communities, we can resist criminalization by demanding there's like a sole focus be placed on critical aid in the form of housing, you know, financial services, social support, as well as basic popular education around how to slow the spread of the virus. And it's something that, you know, we've been doing and we need to do more of it like immediately because our lives depend on it. I want to thank Poor Magazine for publishing this handbook. It's a critical resource, and I hope everyone gets a copy of it and shares it with their communities.
Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca.
So next we're gonna just take a public service announcement and talk about the landless poor people that are actually bringing you this work and how we can even do this. It's really quick. Homefulness, Muteado Silencio.
Hey everybody, thank you Rebecca again. Well, just Homefulness, as some of you guys know, is a project of Poor Magazine that we as houseless, you know, homeless folks being evicted 32 times are coming together and unselling a little piece of Mama Earth right here in Oakland on 82nd and Black Arthur, and literally just with the help of the community members, we're building together also with the folks who have race and class privilege, like Bob Theis, who's an architect who did a lot of work, pro bono work, when it came to do the drawings so we could submit. We're working within the rules of the Oakland City, the building department, because we want to make sure that the city will come up with an excuse to be taken. And yes, it's a little piece that, like, I want to say that for the last 523 years, we as indigenous people have been dreaming of a place to do what we already do, which is break bread with the community. That's what Thursday is what we do here, the community feeling that happens. And again, it's just an effort with no foundation money, with no government pimping money, like my brother Leroy says. It's literally a true community effort of us poverty folks coming out of poverty.
And then Leroy, you want to say a little bit about that funding source?
Yeah, really, it's definitely not no poor foundation shit. This is coming from the teaching of Poor Magazine for 21 years, a teaching from wealth people to redistribute to people that have been here since day one. And because of that teaching, Poor Magazine has a solidarity board, and Tiny can go on. Yeah.
So just really quickly, this is one of the things that's in the book, because those of you who know Poor knows that we share everything that we do. Our goal is to Homefulness the World, to help fellow poverty scholars in Sacramento, in Berkeley. It's a template to build the same thing, whatever their version of it is. We're not owning anything. We align ourselves with the Zapatistas in Chiapas, Landless People's Movement in Brazil, and Shack Dwellers Union in South Africa, Move Africa, long live John Africa. So yes. I want to bring, just to quickly, because it's in the COVID-19 handbook and the virus of poverty. What do we mean by the virus of poverty, right? Well, the virus of poverty is crafted by the colonizer forces so that all of us folks in struggle to hold on to their crumbs. And so we constantly in that crabs in a barrel, hurting each other just to stay alive mentality. One of the things we teach is we teach folks with race and class privilege about the concept of community reparations. Mm-hmm. And here's a beautiful sister Paige to tell you what that really looks like.
Paige.
Uh-oh, Paige. That was a perfect like segue.
Paige Kirstein to the mic.
I knew you, Paige.
Oh, thanks, Leroy.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Paige.
Oh, Zoom. One day we'll all be good at it. Thank you everyone that's spoken. This has been such a, for my soul, so much medicine here, as there always is. Oh no. And yeah, so I'm part of the Solidarity family, as Tiny said. And so for me in this time, I think it's holding what all of us are holding around our health and our community's health and our loved ones' health. And then specifically as a person that has access to wealth in this time, I'm holding both more than ever the sort of importance of reparations and of being a member of the community and of standing in solidarity and being led by the poverty scholars. And also holding that while for many in my community and in my corner of the world, this is a new crisis, as we've been hearing all night from everybody, poverty, homelessness, all these things are crises that have been going and keep going. And so understanding that this isn't a new crisis, and then feeling so much gratitude for all the medicine that I've gotten from the Poor Magazine family and medicine that I bring forward in this moment as I stand in solidarity, and all the lessons of resilience that I've learned from Leroy, from Moot, from Tiny, from Mama Dee, and the whole poverty scholar family in the Elephant Circle, as we face another crisis together, and just remembering, I think, for me, just appreciating being in relationship at Poor and in community. As we understand what is a crisis and what is not, what is a problem and what is us sort of, you know, lacking some sort of quote unquote comfort that we've believe that we are allowed to have. And yeah, and so I'll just close with we've had the opportunity as poverty scholars talk about reparations, what that means for us. And for me, it really means pretty clearly kind of what I have access to. If anything I hold on to is something someone else doesn't have access to. So I'm working in this time, dedicated in this time to doing what I can to move from myself and from others what we can to community, and also making that not just about this time. That's like an ongoing thing that is every day, every month. And I know that there was crisis before this and there'll be crisis after this, and holding both those things. So just, yeah, so much gratitude to everyone that spoke today and to All Pro Magazine. And so grateful to be in community with you all and sending everybody love and comfort and whatever that looks like in this moment.
Thank you, Paige. And for folks who want to know more, it's in the book. It's about community reparations by Yael Chanoff and others, another powerful warrior as well. You know, we didn't talk about it today, but Poverty Scholarship, Poor People Led Theory, Art, Words, and Tears Across Mama Earth. We say it took 527 years. It took 22 years as poor people come up with our own theory. Guess what? Our theory is our life. And so get this medicine too. It's also on poorpress.net. All proceeds from any of these books go to the building of homefulness. And we're trying to work on homefulness 2 and 3 and beyond. So anyway, thank you for that, for listening to us and for hearing that. And let's continue this work. And now, in that same tradition, let's bring on another beautiful sister, Indigenous sister warrior and a dancer. I don't think Laulani is with us, although I wish she was, but that is Laulani Tio from Hawaii, who of course works with unhoused folks in Hawaii who they practice the same sweeps. I don't know if Crystal is still on here, but they sweep and warehouse folks on the islands. And the even crazier part is that most of the houseless folks on the islands, hold this shit in your heart, are Indigenous Hawaiians or from Hawaii. So yeah, Kanaka Maoli. I mean, it's just so many layers of colonial terror, right? From Dene to Hawaii to Uchen. It just continues. But this is also, this liberation that we're all talking and doing this work, this is also powerful. So there you go. I'd urge people to get the book, because Laurani, as well as many visual artists, are in there with their medicine. And we're gonna move to our beautiful sister Shiro, poverty scholar, a dancer, a revolutionary, and who struggled with these digital streets, but continued, because that's how resilient we are, even when Zoom is our colonizer. Anyway, Pearl Ubongin, welcome. We love you, sis.
Hey, Pearl.
You might be muted. Yeah, can you unmute Pearl, Mr. Lee?
Yeah. All right, yeah, I'm muted.
Go for it, Sweat.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello. I got one finally.
Yes. Tell us about your beautiful art.
Well, you know, it's kind of funny because I'm not a visual artist, right? I typically don't paint wood, you know, in the garden. But this piece came as I was sheltering in place in the garden, gardening in place, contemplating, and it was very close to Easter, and I found this wood, and these 3 crucifixes came out of it.
Wow.
I have some, and other drawings and other things have come out of it, so I'm going to read something.
Okay.
Contemplating, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Contemplating radical action against empire, colonialism, and neoliberalism while sheltering and distancing. Oh, wow, this one out. Sorry, I have digital street issues. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. Contemplating radical action against empire, colonialism, and neoliberalism while sheltering and distancing as mandated due to COVID-19 pandemic. Yesterday was Good Friday, today Saturday is the second day, and tomorrow Sunday, the third day, is Easter Sunday, the day he rose again in fulfillment of the scriptures. Whether it is the striking visual punctuation of wooden crosses on a hillside, the killing of children, our joy and hope for the future and life itself, or the horrific truth of unnamed dead bodies going without proper burial into mass graves, infected but not counted. It is the state administering terror.
Woo!
Yeah. Yes.
So, you know, I was raised Catholic. I haven't been that close to the church for many years, like almost 30 years practicing Buddhism. And in this pandemic, you know, and I almost lost my life right before the pandemic with my own infection, a bacterial infection. So obviously I am in some kind of, you know, renewed state or recovering state, or, you know, I'm different. What can I say? It's like my childhood, being raised as a Catholic, living in my grandmother's home, and she was a very, very deep practitioner. And in fact, I attribute my practice in Buddhism to her devotion in Catholicism and passing that on to me as a child. Anyway, it's like it all came back, and I think that this is happening if you give yourself the time and space to reflect while we have this sort of forced, it's not really a lockdown, you know, but it's a different sense of time and space. If you let it be, if you let it in. This is what happened to me, is like this thing got created, and this contemplation of where we are today, kind of suffering represented by being crucified, and the idea that crucifixion is happening all the time to us, and that what the state is doing is a kind of, you know, terror, crucifixion, neglect, abuse, destruction. All of those things are happening now. They're really, really in our faces, and our bodies are relating with this, both as a physical pandemic, but also, you know, it's like everything, emotional, mental, as well as, you know, the idea that, I just love this idea that really we've been in a racial and economic pandemic, and that's merging with the virus.
Yeah.
And this is the terror, because the government, or whoever you want to call it, you know, the guy in the White House, all of his minions, and much of our systemic infrastructure that governs our lives, so to speak, you know, in a form, an outer form kind of way, is doing a thing that is like a kind of mass execution or a mass crucifixion, mostly brown and black bodies, people of color, poor people, you know, everybody that you all work with. I have to say, I'm really, really happy that I got to do the last two actions with you all, the Marriott and this last People Cage action, and that I was really, really happy to have Zaire and Amir and Auntie Candy Corn and you Tiny dancing together. Like, I can't tell you how happy that made me. And how beautiful it was. You see the pictures, you see the video, right? Kind of beautiful. Yeah. The other thing I just wanted to add is I'm working hard on this piece. I think it's a piece of writing and reporting and truth-telling about the P9 nurses who are, you know, lacking in protective wear as they go in, and they're being asked to work in this fashion. And even when they're trying to protect themselves, sometimes in certain cases, the healthcare workers are being told that they may not actually wear, you know, a better face mask. And there have been a number of deaths, particularly concentrated on the West Coast. And I just talked with a P9 nurse, community nurse. So she goes to projects and places where poor people live in New York. And she recovered herself from COVID through staying home, through alternative medicine practices, through things that they do in the Philippines and then, you know, in all indigenous communities. She did it herself, and she wanted to do it that way because you cannot practice that way when you're hospitalized.
We need to get her to teach.
Yeah.
For real.
So,
Thank you,
is
Pearl.
Thank you.
Love you. Thank you.
Good night, Pearl.
All right, so our next artist, straight from homefulness itself, my sister, Tiny.
Okay. I'm only going to read a little because I know it's getting late and we need to close out. So I'm just going to defer to a little bit of this piece that's in the book. A more deadly virus than COVID-19. It's called Capitalism and Poverty. I was born into a deadly virus. No, it wasn't the time of MERS, Ebola, or Osiris. It was a disease that kills, that colonizers pretend won't make you get ill. They hope you reach for some of their deadly poison like alcohol and pills. It causes chills. You feel the cold so bad. You can't ever get well. And the worst part is for my lifetime and yours, there's no vaccine or white science cure. Yeah. What's its name? What has made so many of my fellow po mamas seriously sick in this game? It's the fatal disease of greed, wealth hoarding, and capitalism. Yeah, I'm talking about the virus that sucks the blood and life out of all of us, that rips us from our natural ways of interdependence, patience, ancestors, and ancient life ways, that puts a price on Mama Earth, Mama love, interdependence, and our spirits, culturas, that we've known since birth. I'm talking about the most successful virus the 21st century has ever been lied to. I'm talking about survival of the fittest. You can't make enough money to survive or payment. Too bad. Violence called capitalism has a jail cell, shelter bed, or cardboard box for your houseless mama or dad. So that's it, family. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else has gotten on here, but we might close. But is Weston still on?
Weston, you
Not
still
anymore.
I just want to say hello.
Hey, Juju.
¿Cómo están?
Oh, Juju's on.
Fashionably late. Do you want to do your piece, Juju?
I'm not late. I'm on time.
on a certain kind of time, ma'am. We love you, though.
I'm on birth time. I caught my first baby today.
Oh, come on.
Ashe. Do you wanna read your piece, or do you even have it?
I don't have it on me, no. But I just want to. I love y'all.
Oh,
I'll let y'all know.
Love you, Juju.
Well, that's another reason why people should get this powerful book of poverty scholarship. Work with Juju Angeles rocks. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
Hey, that's what's up.
Maybe she wants to say it also.
Do you want to talk a little bit what you do in the occupied land with your baby in the back there?
Oh my gosh, she's so annoying. I love her though. Sure, I'm on Monso's territory, present day El Paso, occupied land El Paso, doing white midwifery world stuff, but nonetheless trying to keep it strong here, trying to re-indigenize this work. Also working on some revolutionary
traditional midwifery work with, I was in sweat one day and I prayed and I said, I would like to find a traditional birth worker. And literally about 2 days later, this person hits me up out of nowhere. And we've been vibing ever since. Her name is Mama Claire. Shout out to Mama Claire. Been doing a lot of revolutionary midwifery work. And been volunteering her time, using her privilege to actually teach us. So I'm trying to build a school with her right now online. And we're trying to take some of these departments down, some of these licensures that creates barriers for our medicine, that sees our medicine as quote unquote, they do shit like it's spiritual and they do this shit, or the passive aggressiveness that we face when we talk about the things that our abuelitas taught us. So just working on that, working on learning all the things that I need to learn so that I can continue to provide, and I still provide free support to people. I'm supporting someone right now virtually in New York, a poor mama in the projects. I'm supporting somebody out here in New Mexico, another poor mama from Colombia. So just, continue to do the work. Wouldn't not be able to do this without the revolutionary work of Poor Magazine. Without their work, I would not be able to do this. I will always give what I can when I have my time, my resources. I'll give my last to help y'all. Y'all really are family to me.
You did.
I fucks with y'all. You know what I mean? Like, you can't fuck with a lot of people out here. People will say that they're revolutionary, or they say, all the catchphrase and the taglines or whatever. But when push come to shove, you call them, they know where to be found. So I'm really thankful for the revolutionary work that y'all do and how committed y'all are to poor people in particular, and that y'all don't throw nobody away. You have the infrastructure in place to try to resolve issues, because when traumatized folks get together, we traumatize each other. But y'all been able to hold us up, in and out, and really show me that through leadership, not just talk. So the poem that I wrote it in a really sad state. It's really hard to be out here and to be so different,
Yep.
And the last line of my poem is, I just want to be listened to, and I think that, like, those are the things that Poor Magazine always try to push, is like, we know what we need.
That's right.
Just listen to us.
Ashe.
That's all you gotta do. That's it. That's all it is. So, Ibaye, to everyone, to your mama Tiny, to the folks who lift this work up, the shoulders that we stand on.
That's right.
Continue to bless our work, continue to bless our lives, continue to let us multiply, continues to let us try to unsell the earth. And please keep praying for me that I stay strong, because I already had like 35 breakdowns out here. So
we pray.
Yes.
We pray for you
Take
every
care of
day.
yourself, mama.
We love you, fam.
But I love y'all. Thank y'all for doing this. Thank you for reaching out to me and asking me to be a part of this book. And I'm just so grateful for y'all. I carry y'all everywhere I go. Everyone's like, well, what are we supposed to do? I said, well, do you know the work of Poor Magazine? And they're not with it. They're not with it. But they will be.
All right.
They will be.
Right. Let me just say this. We love you. We want to close out, because I know people getting tired. I want to say a quick shout out for Reverend OG.
Yes.
That's his work right there.
Yes.
Pastor Williams, OG Rev from Frisco, from Occupied Yelamu, bringing the spirit to the people. Yeshua, revolutionary Yeshua, to the real people. Also for Chicueyi, who's a really beautiful sister, who's a prayer bringer.
Andrea.
Right, and she, Patricia, listening to my Yotli, right? Is that the right? My heart.
Mm-hmm.
A powerful indigenous Mexica medicine. There's so much in this book. A letter from our ancestors for these times by Cesar Cruz from Homies Empowerment. Andrea Hansen with Where Do We Go Berkeley, and the powerful self-determination work. It has nothing to do with politricksters and everything to do with poor people-led movement building. So anyway, all of that to say there's so much medicine in here. Get a book if you can, pass and share the word on. We are trying to raise the blood-stained dollars and turn them into love-stained dollars to print these books so that we can actually give them out for free and or no very low cost, but always free, to houseless and poor people, poor mamas and elders on the street, because we do radical redistribution all across the Bay, just like our comrades at Homies Empowerment, Where Do We Go Berkeley, Consider the Homeless, SAC SOUP, the Klee Benally, the folks in Dine Nation, Poor People's Economic and Human Rights Campaign. And then there's even folks from the Bronx, Tanya Denise Fields, who's a badass mama of 6 children who's been got this COVID and survived. So there's some powerful work, but help us put the words out. Also, I just want to say big shout out to Asa. I don't know if Asa's there, but if you want to say the closing thing on how to get the book, Asa, if you're feeling better, I don't know, but also Asa is an amazing designer, along with Celia, who did the cover art, along with Weston, who helped us navigate the digital. We love you, fam.
Let's not forget Weston has 2 poems in the book.
That's right.
Including the negotiation.
That's right. Weston.
Let's not forget he has work in here too.
That's right.
I don't even know he was a poet.
Well, you know, he started his poetry career.
Come on, Weston.
At the poetry journalism class at Deecolonize Academy.
Go with yourself.
We just some goofy fools over here. My mama Dee would say, if you can't laugh through this shit, you won't survive. So I'm just saying, mama, we love you, we love you, we love you. And all that to say, if anybody else wants to say anything else, otherwise we're gonna close out.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, y'all, this is Asa here. I'm here. Okay, so who's running the slideshow?
Me.
Is that Celia?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So here is the Poor Press website. It's poorpress.net. And so it's the one that says ebook now available, the very first one on the website. So you're gonna click on that. And then that'll take you to the product page where you can click add to cart. And then you're going to go up to the corner where there's a little shopping bag and it should say 1. So then when you click on that, this next menu will open. And you'll click on view cart. And then here's where you can do a sliding scale option. So if you click on that little yellow link there that says enter a promo code. So click on that. And then you can type in whatever number you're able to pay. So if you can pay $5,
that's what's up.
So then you click apply, and that'll set your discount.
Damn, that's what's up, man.
So if you can't pay anything right now, that's fine. Just put 0, and then you'll be able to download the book, and you'll get it for free. So then you click download, and then it'll have you put in all your customer information and everything. And once you do that, you'll be able to place the order, which will take you to this like confirmation page that will have a link down there in the bottom, that little box that says download. If you click that, you will get the file, and it's the full book. It's almost 330 pages. Whee! And the nice thing about the PDF version is that you get to see all the photographs in color.
Yes.
Right on.
Asa, you rock, fam.
How many pages?
328. It's a big book.
Wow, amazing. Congratulations.
And all of us.
And I do want to lift up Asa. That's right. I want to lift up Asa and Celia, who specifically, along with Weston, but really worked on this resource guide that is no joke, fam. I'm talking about food. I'm talking about where you get tested. I'm talking about where you can get shopping bags. I'm talking about where you get masks. And I'm talking about all over occupied Turtle Island. Yeah, that part.
I just want to really quickly thank you at Poor Magazine, Tiny, the work you do and, you know, the community that you bring together. That's really powerful. And I'm really grateful to be part of this journey. And also to continue to learn and unlearn. So I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Celia. Celia did this artwork, which, you know, you could just buy the book for that alone, fam.
Yeah.
Love you, family.
Thank you, guys.
I just want to say a closing prayer for Sister Stacy and Brother Rob Denoise. If we could have a moment of silence, close our eyes, think about the beauty that was Sister Stacy. It was so light and so deep and so churning and so amazing all at the same time. I thank you for walking on this earth with us, Stacy, for teaching us every day, for making our steps a little bit less full of shit, and for continuing to watch over all of the powerful mentees that you birthed. Thank you, Rob, for your music, for your liberation, for your fellowship with Brother Keith and Leroy and me and all of us, for Crip Hop Nation. Thank you to all of the beautiful Ohlone Lashawn relatives who allow us to stay and sit on this land every day, who take care of us, to Papa Bear, to Dr. Chino Soleil, to Torian Deja Hughes, to Lori, to my mama, for without whom there be no me. And thank you to all of you for sitting here today. We love you so much. Oh, Mateo.
Oh, Mateo.
Much love.
Thank you, everybody.
Stop the recording.
All right. Bye. Bye.